You're 10 minutes into the interview, it's going well. Then the hiring manager smiles and asks, "So, do you have kids?" Your brain freezes because the question sounds casual. It isn't casual. It just dragged your private life into a hiring decision. The trap is not always the question. The trap is answering like your age, kids, health, or marriage belongs in the scorecard. Greenhouse's 2025 report found only 7% of candidates believe the job market favors them. That pressure makes people answer questions they should redirect. The same Greenhouse report says 53% of U.S. job seekers report facing illegal or discriminatory interview questions. So no, you're not imagining it. Today's playbook is simple. Protect the candidacy. Refuse the premise. Answer the job requirement, not the personal question. First rule, don't lecture in the moment. You're not there to train their manager. You're there to avoid giving them ammo. Use this bridge, "I'm happy to speak," to the requirements of the role. Is there a specific concern you want me to address? Maya was interviewing for a product operations role at a 300-person software company. Strong resume, clean case study. Then the room changed. The director asked whether she had young kids, because the team sometimes worked late during launches. That question was the moment.
Maya said, "I can meet the schedule and launch requirements for this role. Is there a specific availability concern you'd like me to address?"
Notice what she didn't say. She didn't confirm kids. She didn't explain childcare. She moved the conversation back to performance. The EOC says employers generally should not use non-job-related questions about marital status, children, dependents, spouses, pregnancy, or future childbearing plans. If they ask about kids, say, "I'm able to meet the role's schedule requirements. What specific time commitments are important?" If they ask about travel, say, "I can meet the travel requirements listed. How often does the team travel during a normal quarter?" If they ask about your spouse, say, "My personal situation won't prevent me from performing this role. Which job requirement should we discuss?" Maya's answer did two things. It kept her qualified on paper, and it forced the interviewer to name the actual business concern. Don't apologize for redirecting. Apology makes it sound like you did something wrong. You didn't. You answered the interview correctly. For disability, the EOC says employers generally cannot ask disability-related questions before a conditional job offer. They can ask about performing job duties. If they ask about a disability, say, "I'm able to perform the essential functions of the role. Which specific requirement are you asking about?" The EOC also says employers generally may not require medical exams before a conditional offer. Pre-offer health phishing is a serious red flag. If they ask about health, say, "I can meet the role's attendance and performance expectations. Is there a job duty you want clarified?" You don't need to disclose a diagnosis to prove commitment. One approach is to discuss capabilities, requirements, and accommodations only when relevant. On age, the EO says the Age Discrimination in Employment Act protects applicants and employees who are 40 or older. Age questions are not always banned by themselves, but the EOC warns they can support evidence of discriminatory intent if used against candidates. If they ask your age, say, "I have the experience needed, and I'm current on the tools listed. What capability are you concerned about?" If they ask graduation year, say, "My relevant experience is reflected in my resume. I'd rather focus on the skills this role needs now." If they joke that you seem overqualified, hear the translation. They may be wondering whether you're too expensive, too senior, or too hard to manage. Illegal questions often arrive dressed as small talk. Where do you live? What's your background? Do you go to church? Same move. For personal life questions, say, keep my personal life separate, but I'm happy to discuss how I'd handle the responsibilities here." For culture, fit fishing, say, "The work environment where I do best is clear priorities, direct feedback, and accountability. How does this team operate?" Now the second half of the playbook. After the interview, document it before your memory starts editing the uncomfortable parts. Write a private note, the exact question, who asked it, your answer, who was present, and whether the energy changed afterward. Don't dramatize the note. Don't interpret. Record facts. Exact words beat vibes if you later need to explain what happened. Do not fire off an angry email that night. Consider waiting until you're calm. Strategy beats adrenaline every time. If you need follow-up, keep it clean. I wanted to confirm the role's schedule, travel, and essential performance expectations. Greenhouse found 50. 7% of candidates removed older experience from resumes, and 30% of underrepresented candidates changed names to avoid bias. That is not paranoia. That is candidates adapting to a system where bias can enter before they even speak. So decide whether to continue like a strategist. A bad question is data. It is not automatically the whole company. Used green, yellow, red. Green means they accept the redirect and return to job requirements. Keep going. Yellow means they ask once, seem awkward, and recover. Continue, but document and watch the next round closely. Red means repeated personal questions, pressure to disclose, or rejection right after disclosure. Consider escalating or walking away. If it's red, protect yourself first. Consider speaking with an employment attorney, an agency, or a trusted professional before taking action. Ask the recruiter. I was asked about personal information unrelated to the role. Can you clarify how hiring criteria are being evaluated? Maya got a second round. Same company, different leader. She did not pretend the first question never happened. She asked, how does this team handle launch schedules, after, hours work, and coverage planning so performance expectations stay clear? The leader answered with a real process, rotating coverage, advance notice, comp time. That shifted the signal from red to yellow. You are interviewing them too. A company that cannot run a clean interview may not run a clean workplace. Greenhouse reported 61% of boomers experienced age discrimination, compared with 11% of Gen Z. Bias changes shape by career stage. Younger candidates get different traps. Are you planning to settle down? Will you stay if life changes? Same answer. Job requirements only. For future family plans, say, I'm focused on the opportunity and can meet the role's expectations. What outcomes define success here? For health history, say, I'm comfortable discussing current job requirements and essential functions. Which requirement would you like to cover? If you need accommodations later, consider discussing them after the offer or when they become relevant to performing the job. The EOC says employers may ask whether applicants can perform job duties, with or without reasonable accommodation, when the question targets essential functions. Use this line anytime, I can perform the essential functions. If there's a specific duty you're concerned about, let's discuss that duty. See the pattern? You are not dodging. You are translating an improper personal question into a proper business question. Don't give ammo because you feel awkward. Silence for 2 seconds is cheaper than oversharing for 2 minutes. Pause. Breathe, then bridge. The pause makes you look thoughtful, not evasive. The bridge makes your answer useful. Tone matters. Warm, firm, boring. You want the answer to feel professional enough that pushing further makes them look strange. Repeat the job frame, availability, travel, essential functions, current skills, performance expectations. These words keep the interview on legal ground. If they reject you after the redirect, don't assume, but don't ignore the timing. Patterns matter more than one weird sentence. Save the job posting, emails, interview schedule, your notes, and any follow-up messages. Keep everything factual and in one private folder. If the situation feels serious, consider consulting a qualified professional. This episode is strategy, not legal advice for your specific case. Boundary script, I'm not comfortable discussing personal details, but I'm happy to discuss anything tied to performing this role successfully. If this is useful, follow the show. No hype. Just scripts you can actually use when the room gets weird. Cheat code 1, answer the requirement, not the personal premise. That's how you stay qualified without volunteering private information. Cheat code 2, use one bridge sentence. I can meet the role requirements. What specific concern should I address? Cheat code 3, document immediately. Exact question, exact answer. People present. Tone shift, facts first, feelings second. Cheat code 4, treat bad questions as signal, not panic. Signal. Decide green, yellow, or red, then move accordingly. A bad interview question tells you something. Your answer tells them something too. You know the line, and you won't cross it for them. You don't owe a stranger your family plan, medical history, age story, or private life. You owe them proof you can do the job. Next interview, keep the playbook ready. Smile. Redirect. Document. Then decide whether this company deserves your talent.